Now I will start with the characteristics of Smith charts, which will be discussed now. So the in previous class we were discussed about what is Smith chart, what is the use of Smith chart, and what are the different types of uh, circles or constant R circle and constant X circles in previous class we have discussed. Now, what are the important characteristics of Smith charts are the constant R and constant X loci form two families of orthogonal circles in the chart. In a previous class, we were discussing about constant R circle and the constant X circles. By using these two circles or these two loci, they will form two families of orthogonal circles in the chart. Okay, the constant R and the constant X circle passes through the point L is equal to 1 or F is equal to 0. In both circles, constant R circle and constant R circle, this is a L, and constant X circle, this is a L. Above this L, 1 over X, below this L, 1 over X, and above this 0, positive imaginary values, and below this 0, negative imaginary axis in anti-clockwise direction. So these in these two constant X circles and that is reacting circles and resistance circles, they are passes through the L, where F is equal to 0, L is equal to 1. The upper half of the diagram represents, you see here, upper half of the, from here, upper half of the diagram in clockwise representation represents Jx, and lower half will use to represent minus Jx. Okay, and the admittance of the constant R circle become constant G circle. Admittance of the constant R circle, see, this is constant R circle, admittance will become constant G circle, and constant X circle will become constant subscriptance B circles. Admittance circle in constant R circle will become G circle, and the constant X circle will become susceptance B circles. The distance around the chart once is half wavelength. You see, from here to, from infinity to, likewise if you one round, so that is nothing but it's a length of the Smith chart. One round is 1/2 wavelength, that is lambda by 2. At a point of Z minimum is equal to, at the point of Z minimum is equal to 1 by rho, Z minimum is equal to 1 by rho, there is a V minimum on the line. If Z is equal to 1 by, Z minimum is equal to 1 by rho on the line, then that indicates V minimum on the line. At a point when your Z is maximum, that is called as rho dash, there is a point on the line V max. When on the line Z minimum is given by 1 by rho, that there is a point on the line is called V minimum. A point on Z is equal to maximum value, that is Z max is equal to P dash, there is a V max on the line, and the same line you will be getting the maximum voltage. The horizontal radius of the right of the chart center, the horizontal line of the horizontal radius of the to the right of the chart center, you see, from this is horizontal line from the center, right of the center it is, and it is having left of the center radius is there. Okay, so The horizontal radius to the right of the charge center corresponds to V max, I minimum, Z max, and rho. This corresponds to V max, I minimum, Z max, and rho from this side. In the left half, Z minimum, I maximum, V minimum, Z min, rho. In the left side, V minimum, I max, Z min, and 1 by rho. Left side you are going to represent. Since the normalized admittance Y is reciprocal of the normalized impedance Z, the normal admittance Y is reciprocal of the normalized impedance Z, the corresponding quantities in the admittance chart, the corresponding quantities in the admission chart are 180 out of phase with those in the impedance chart. In impedance chart, the admittance Y is reciprocal of the normalized impedance Z. It is corresponds to the quantities in the admittance chart are 180 out of phase with those in the impedance chart. The normalized impedance or admittance is repeated for every half wavelength of the distance. The normalized impedance or admittance is repeated for every half wavelength of distance. The distances are given in the wavelengths towards the generator or towards the load. The distances are in the Smith chart. They will represent or they will be given in the wavelengths towards the load or towards the generator. Now I will move on to single stub matching. So here single lumped inductors or capacitor can match the transmission line. Single lumped capacitor or inductors can match the transmission line, and it is more common to use the suspective properties of short circuited sections of transmission lines. In the matching of inductors, lumped inductors and capacitors to match the transmission line, it is more common to use suspective properties of short circuit sections of transmission line. So now short circuited sections are preferable to open circuited ones. Short circuited sections are preferable to open circuited ones because a good short circuit is easier to obtain than a good open circuit. Short circuit sections are usually preferred on open circuit because a good short circuit is easier to obtain than a good open circuit. So therefore, usually for calculation, short circuit conditions are more preferable. For lossless line, admittance Y8 is equal to Y0. Maximum power transfer requires Y11 is equal to Y0. Here Y11 is the total admittance of the line, which is and stub. Y11 is the total admittance of the line and stub looking into the right at point 11 as shown in figure transmission line. The stub must be located at that point on the line. The stub must be located on the line where the real part of the admittance looking towards the load is Y0. The stub must be located at a point where it should be on the line. The real part of the admittance looking towards the load should be Y0. So in normalized unit, Y11 must be in the form of Y11 is equal to YD plus or minus YS is equal to 1. YD plus or minus YS is equal to 1. So I'll complete my module number 1 now. I will stop here. Thank you for watching this video.